Gerry the Monk Hutch has been quite a prominent criminal figure in the illegal setting of Dublin for nearly 2 decades, and Gerry became the topic of interest once again when he was caught by a few undercover authorities in his Spanish bolthole. The police were looking for him because of his involvement in the Regency Hotel killing of David Byrne, a famous Kinahan gangster. But surprisingly, the Monk Hutch was not found guilty at the Special Criminal Court, so it got many people thinking about what might be going on in the mind of Gerry the Monk Hutch. This is why we brought an exclusive look at what goes on in the mastermind criminal's mind, so keep watching this video till the end. Before we begin this video, let us tell you something interesting. We have all learnt everything about the monk that you will watch through bugged conversations between him and Garda. Gerry does not talk to Garda directly or in fact engages in a casual discussion with them. For example, Gerry Hutch does not like to give an account of movements when asked, and does not even respond to where he was when the Kinahan gangster named David Byrne was killed at the Regency Hotel. In fact, it seemed like the monk had already prepared a playbook for this situation. Hutch had outlined a strategy for dealing with troublesome police inquiries and pitched it during a road trip to Jonathan Dowdall on their way to Northern Ireland in March of 2016. However, they were under surveillance, and the Jeep of the retired Sinn Féin councillor was bugged by the authorities, and this is how the Garda recorded the conversation. When Hutch was explaining his strategy to Jonathan, he mentioned that he would never understand why anyone would ever be willing to answer any of the police's questions, especially after they were told it was not mandatory. Gerry might not have been very well educated or even completed high school with any formal qualifications, but that doesn't change the fact that he is incredibly smart. He is an extremely intelligent man who, with the help of his involvement and connections in the world of boxing and his image in the eyes of the public as a stance against drugs, very easily ingrained himself within the social circle of the country's north inner city. When he was a kid, Hutch would never probably dream of making it possible. He was born in 1963 into deprivation and had always blamed poverty and the absence of any other alternatives present in his life for his involvement in criminal activities. Hutch was first convicted at the young age of 8 years after he stole a bottle of red lemonade. The next time, he turned 15 and was sent to prison for breaking into stores and stealing. It is said that Gerry, or Gerard, was always kind of a lone wolf and seemed distant from the people he grew up with. While imprisoned, Hutch also learned to read and write and never indulged in drinking or smoking, claiming that he despised the illegal drug trade business and all drug dealers. On the other hand, the members of his own family, his nephews, were deeply rooted in the drug trade and other criminal activities at various levels, whether it's the lowest level of being a drug addict or being a part of wealthy international crime syndicates. In March of 2003, the son of Gerry's brother Eddie, called Christopher, also known as Bouncer Hutch, died of a heart attack caused by the toxic effects of cocaine. After that, another of Eddie's sons, Ross Hutch, was sentenced to 10 years for violently attacking a man and a woman. Ross came into the limelight after appearing on RTE's Winning Streak in 2015, where he won an amount of €33,000, €8,000 in cash, along with a Toyota Corolla that was worth around €25,000, after being placed as the replacement of his brother Eddie Jr. Gerry Hutch had also expressed to the public that he is regretful that his other nephews, Gerry and Derek Delboy Hutch, were also a part of organized crime. He then stated that there are roughly 50 Hutches with the same name, so if anyone gets into it, falls on his shoulders. Organized crime. The world of organized crime lures in many seemingly respectable individuals, including law enforcement officers, politicians, lawyers, business executives, journalists, and models. But unfortunately, delinquents like to seek out people they think are naive and seem to follow the law religiously, making them lose targets for exploitation. Gerry Hutch is perfectly aware of this fact. He understands that organized crime and paramilitary violence are not only hazardous and disreputable endeavors, but also no one can be trusted here. He realizes that law enforcement officials, media, the justice system, and even rival criminals are all important occupational entities that must be endured, negotiated with, and sometimes even cooperated with. Still, despite this, you can never trust anyone. Organized criminal groups always seek a way to legitimize their illegitimate earnings, and Gerry Hutch already had a plan. Hutch realized that the cab settlement enabled him to hold on to some of his illegal earnings by legalizing the money he was authorized to keep. Criminal Assets Bureau. How did he manage to do so? Let us tell you. More than 30 years ago, Gerry Hutch invested his wealth in property using the seed money he claimed came from compensation awards. But the Criminal Assets Bureau went after Hutch for unpaid taxes and forced him to pay around £2 million from the proceeds of crime, which still remains one of the largest cap settlements with a criminal. Despite this setback, Gerry, known for his strategic mindset, also had a realistic perspective. "You have to meet people halfway," he joked about his settlement afterwards. Through his deal with the state, both sides profited in some way. Although Gerry is a part of the criminal underworld, he has so far managed to deter imprisonment or death, making him one of the few to do so. Gerry and the Kinahans. Gerry Hutch was aware of the Kinahans' ambition to become a global force in organized crime from the beginning. In 2016, he commented that they had begun making money nearly 2 years ago and were after power just as much as money. As a clever judge of character, Hutch was aware of the origins of the Kinahan organized crime group and the personalities of its particular gang leaders. Gerry knew about their desire to become the largest gang in Europe and how they used younger members to fulfill their promises. However, Gerry's young and reckless relatives drew the family into the ongoing feud with the Kinahans, which resulted in the deaths of around 18 individuals in Ireland and Spain. Hutch's nephew Gerry was a senior member of the Kinahan organized crime group, known for his involvement in armed robberies and drug dealing and his reputation as a feared gunman. In 2006, he shot and seriously injured the violent criminal Paul Dicey Riley, who had recently been released after serving an 8-year sentence for slashing and stabbing 4 people at a rave. Riley recognized and identified Gerry as the shooter to the garda while in the hospital. Riley initially gave a statement to the garda. Still, he later realized that his injuries were not as life-threatening as he thought, and criminals do not talk to the garda, especially about the Hutch family. Later, he retracted his statement and went to court to testify that he had become confused because of his injuries and did not know what he was saying. As a result, Gerry was acquitted of the charges against him. Gerry's uncle claimed he knew nothing about the incident and was not at any meeting to resolve the issue. Hutch commented that Riley was very vulnerable and his statement may not have been credible. Hutch and politics. Gerry Hutch was interested in media and politics. When Jonathan Dowdall criticized Sinn Féin and Mary Lou McDonald for not attending Eddie Hutch's funeral, Hutch remained careful. He referred to Thomas Slab Murphy's conviction for tax evasion by the Special Criminal Court the previous week and remarked how Sinn Féin was already in trouble with the court. Gerry kept himself informed by reading newspapers, news broadcasts, and current affairs programs. During his conversations with Dowdall on the road trip, they would stop talking when news came on the radio. Gerry Hutch stated in an article after the Regency Hotel murder that his family was strongly opposed to drugs and the drug trade and were rather involved in various charitable, religious, and sports groups that helped young people in the inner city. In April 2023, Gerry Hutch walked out of the Special Criminal Court as a free man. This is all for today, but we'll be back with another exclusive video soon. So subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to never miss any new notifications. Stay tuned, and thanks for watching.